Hello, Awesomeness Creators. It's Nina Kovner with Passion Squared with this week's episode of Q and Awesome. This week I got a great question from a member of the community that said, how do I know who to listen to? And it was such a great question because there's so much noise today, especially with the social and digital web, and everybody seems to be an expert. So, good question. I'll give you my kind of two answers. When I first started in my career, I didn't know who to listen to. So I focused on mentors, people that were doing things that I thought were awesome. And I started following belief systems and philosophies that they did or books that they recommended, things like that. Like people that were doing awesome stuff for me at the time. But I didn't have any context around that. So I just kind of believed what I was told. As I grew wiser and got more experience and was able to not only be in business but run a business and build a business and grow other businesses, including my own, my belief system has changed in who I choose to listen to and follow. People are always making book recommendations and you should read this and you should read this. And I'm a fan of less is more, always around everything. And the same comes to business. Who I choose to listen to and follow now are people that not only are doing it themselves, but are helping other people do it. There's two parts to that. Because anyone on the social web today can be an expert. And maybe you've been able to, or the people that are saying they're experts have been able to build their own business. But that lacks context. Because until you can actually help others, the information is just your own. It's just information that's helped you. It doesn't mean that it necessarily can help others. And the reason this is because all businesses are different. Businesses have different strategies, different objectives, different target markets, different business models. And in order to be able to recommend a book or recommend something to listen to, there needs to be some context around that. So what I look for is people that not only are doing it themselves, but have been able to help others. And that's really what I believe in. You know, anyone can call themselves an expert. I personally don't call myself an expert. I believe that it's broad. I believe that it's diluted and overused. What I choose to do is focus on what I know well, which is business and personal development, and specifically in business in the areas of branding, strategy, social and digital, marketing, because I'm passionate about it, because I study it every day, because I've done it myself, because I work with so many different businesses. I see what works for certain businesses. I see what doesn't work for certain businesses. So this one-size-fits-all advice and people saying they're an expert, those are the people I would not follow or I would not listen to, because until you have the context, you may follow one of their plans that absolutely is not what you should be following. So that comes down to gut and alignment in vision and looking for people that have a similar vision to yours, looking at people that have what you want, you know, and then ultimately making the best decision for your business. That's the key. You could read a ton of books. I could read a ton of books. And I could go off on some path that's completely wrong for me. We have to be able to build context around what we listen to, who we listen to, and what action we take on that information. So, kind of a deep answer, but it's the truth. One size does not fit all. It just does not. And there's certain systems that work for everybody, but not all. And so you ultimately, at the end of the day, have to look for your mentors, look for people that you follow that make sense, look for the people that are doing it, not just for themselves, but able to help others, and people that have context, that aren't just doing it for themselves, but are able to help people with systems and processes that work for them. Long answer, important one. It applies to personal development as well. People that preach recovery or wellness or whatever, I want to see that they're actually grounded and into themselves. A great example is I don't talk about nutrition and weight loss. I struggle with my weight. I always have. It's a much deeper issue. I've talked about it before, and one that I choose not to talk about because it's very personal. But the fact remains, I don't talk about it because I have no context, right? So I could certainly talk on eating disorders all day long and addiction, but you won't hear me talk about nutrition and weight loss for that reason. So, long answer, important one. Who do you decide who to listen to? Make sure they align with what your belief system. You'll know in your gut. Ask your mentors. Ask your mentors. Tap into their knowledge and experience and context. And less is more. Less is more. We want to subscribe to less content, less information, not more, because the ultimate goal is to take action on what we learn. And I see a lot of learning and not as much action. So less is more. Okay? Great question. Thank you so much for that one. It's a good one. It really made me think. You can ask me anything. I may just answer your question on my show, Q and Awesome. You can tweet me at PassionSquared2, hashtag Q and Awesome, or email me, awesome@passionsquared.net. And ask me anything. Mwah. I love you guys. Mwah, mwah. Have an awesome day. Bye.